Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this video. I hope you're having a good day. In this video, I want to address the three why questions related to correlation tables. Um, why are they used? Why are they not used? And why are they so useful? So, first question, why are they used? Well, it's a little bit tricky because it sort of depends on what field that you're in. Typically, they are used in the natural sciences and the physical sciences to give sort of a summary description of the relationship between multiple variables that are being tested or being studied. Not always, but typically. Typically in the social sciences and sometimes in the physical sciences, they are not used because we only use the values within them to describe the effect size value or the relationship between these variables. So when we use these tables, it says a lot about where we are. And that goes back to why they are sometimes not used. They are not used if I am wanting to focus on the descriptive nature of the relationship as opposed to the associative nature. And many of you have probably been trained to think of correlation values as association and not description. And so it gets a little tricky if you haven't been trained in effect size. Now, effect size has become very popular in the social sciences and is starting to make some inroads in the physical sciences. Has yet to make as much of an impression in the natural sciences. And so that's what I'm saying. Sometimes in the physical sciences, we'll take out a correlation matrix and just use effect size value. Well, effect size value is R, which is this value here, squared. And so now when we start telling the story, when we start writing our dissertation, the professor might say, instead of reporting it as a correlation, let's report it as a descriptive value. And so that's when they are not used. So why are these tables so useful? Well, I've actually given you the answer. The reason why correlation matrices are so useful is because they're so flexible. I'm in the natural sciences. I am studying the relationship between clutch size, time of year, or temperature, and day length. I can very quickly bring in some numbers, bring in some data, crunch the data, and create correlation to identify significant relationships, associative relationships between these values. It is symmetrical. It does provide you with an easy visual, and it can be done fairly simply. But on the other hand, let's say I'm looking at human cognition and have IQ values and let's say years of education. I can then talk about the descriptive nature, not the associative nature of these two variables. Describe their relationship using R squared, which is an effect size which is found from correlation tables, and I don't have to build this big correlation table. And that's why they're so useful, their flexibility in their use of creating the narrative for your dissertation and subsequent articles. I hope this video has answered some questions. Hope it's raised some questions. If it has, we'd love to hear it. Otherwise, I hope you have a good day.